common denominator.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man. You the man.
Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Duo live show here at Learn Crypto, your one-stop shop for stock and crypto technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and news. Make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you want to keep winning with us. My name is Nick Hellman.
I'm Todd Butterfield.
The man with all to Lambo land. Now let's give you the rundown. We're going to look at CoinGecko and brag about what's winning because everything is green right now when it comes to the large caps. Todd will look at the TA to keep you up to date on what the play is. And then we'll go to the chat box to see what your comments, questions, and concerns are. We'll maybe talk some news articles. We'll talk some fundamentals. We'll talk some meme coin gems. You know, just trying to give you the scoop, trying to get you the alpha, and trying to make you those gains. What you got going on today, Todd?
What up, Cameron? Alexis, Bamboo, Yannick. As you know, we got Bitcoin at new highs. I wasn't expecting that short term, but we're going to go over the Elliott wave count. My technometer's still up there at 48, so I still think, I think it's showing we got some strength here, but I still think we're going to have a pullback here short term, maybe 119. We'll probably pick up some stuff there.
Yeah, and I know there is some Elliott wave counts. Even the most bullish ones do say there's a possibility of a slight pullback, so we'll get into that quickly. After you show my screen, we'll take a look at CoinGecko and see what's going on here. We got Bitcoin up 10% over the 7-day period. Ethereum up 13%. It's nice to see Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin because that means maybe, just maybe, an alt season will come here. XRP is still flirting with the $3 mark. You know we don't trade that shitcoin except for conferences once a year, Todd. That usually happen in November. That means in less than a month, maybe, we'll have to do a XRP trade. Keep an eye on that chart. We like to trade into that and ride that 20% conference run and then dump it on the heads of the XRP community. Sorry to any XRP community in here. That's been the name of the game since the highs in 2017. We haven't looked back, and it's been working out pretty good. We got BNB up 20%. Yes, 20% the past week. That's crazy for a project in the top 5. And Solana trying to keep pace with Ethereum up 12. What are the biggest winners? Well, Zcash. It was at $150 per Zcash. I said, man, I'd probably be selling that. Right now it's at $160, extending the gains by a couple percent. Aptos, Mantle, and Wrap BNB also doing very well. And the losers, Plasma, down 20% over the past week. We talked about it at $1, saying it looks like it wants to go lower. It's now at 96 cents. Looks like we were right on that. And nothing else is really all that red, at least when it comes to the top 100 assets in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. If you want to take over the charts, show us where the money is to be made. Should people be a buyer, a seller? What's going on here?
All right, Bitcoin chart in front of us. There, a few days ago, I said 119.7. I thought we would stop. Our technometer did get close. You can see it was up there at 49.3. And we have continued higher. I mean, that's showing some strength. And obviously, I still think probably this rally is the most of it's behind us. We probably got support now again back here at 121.5 and then back down at 119.450. So I really think a break of 119.5 will probably give us the setup for entry, just guessing. So we're watching out for that, but I still think we're going to roll over here. Ethereum, once again, came out of that spring position, tested it one day, and then we're back near the top end of the trading range. So it'd be an ideal spot for that one, obviously, to roll over up here, 47, 4800, come back down here again, maybe 4380, 4350. I had sold some at 44.16, I think the number was. So I really think a little bit lower than that will be support. So we'll look to pick it back up there.
What would that be? Just like a 50% or 618 fib retracement of this previous move higher?
No,
and then,
probably a 0.382 retracement.
line?
0.382 retracement. If we're strong, we'll probably hold it here. So I guess we'll see also how stocks act. We've got the Dow down 86, which has mostly been the low of the day or so. S&P up 250, 671.70, and NASDAQ still sitting here up 178. So stocks continue strong, but again, I think we could see them pull back a little bit here, and then let's see Bitcoin comes down to that 119 level. If our technometer comes back to oversold, we'll look to be picking it up.
There we go. I mean, everybody thinks we're just going to on a runaway. And, you know, I am very bullish for the remainder of this Q4. And I'm bullish that, hey, we can even extend it to 2026. But these are still just trades. And we're trying to find trading ranges that make sense to get positions and keep growing the bag slowly. And it does look like even the bullish Elliott wave counts say a pullback in Bitcoin could happen. And as long as Ethereum doesn't break out to new all-time highs, why couldn't that have a consolidation as well? We got Journey documentation saying, can we please check Kava? Thanks, sir. It looks like Todd is pulling that up now. And then Big House says Trump coin is stuck in the mud. I mean, Trump coin kind of has been stuck in the mud ever since launch. You had like, what, 2 days of green candles and red ever since?
Definitely. Kava is below my screen. I'm just going to leave it on that. Not much to add here. I mean, blue line is optimism, pessimism, which is 5-minute volume. It's hitting new lows. So there'd be a little bit of a buy divergence here, but recently really lockstep to the downside. So probably I would say an oversold technometer, which would take a couple more days of selling. Maybe we try that 30 cents, 28 cent level. Otherwise, I don't really have anything I can add on Kava.
And there was some news that I wanted to cover today. That is that the Grayscale ETP for Ethereum. So the Grayscale Ethereum ETP, very similar to a exchange traded fund, did get approved to add staking to both the Ethereum ETF and the Solana ETF, which is pretty crazy. First of all, this gives Grayscale the first mover advantage. Once again, they always seem to be on the forefront of cutting edge investment strategies for crypto. But number two, this to me leads me to believe that the SEC is going to approve this for everybody. Yes, BlackRock, Fidelity, Morgan Stanley, whoever wants to get in, their Ethereum spot ETF will allow staking, which means what? It is much easier to get people onboarded into these ETFs because, hey, look, you can get into this shiny new object, this tech stock, if you will, invest directly in ETH, and it pays out a 3 to 5% dividend yield. Now, why would BlackRock want to do that? Well, the info came out that BlackRock's most profitable ETF to date right now is which one? That's their Bitcoin ETF. Their Ethereum ETF is growing quickly. Now, imagine if they can allow staking, and instead of giving you the full 3%, they keep another 1% for themselves. That is the exact type of product that BlackRock, Fidelity, and all the institutional players want to push onto the clients. And you're watching Learn Crypto, which means you're early. You're self-custodying. You don't need to buy the Ethereum spot ETF. You can actually own the ETH itself. Many people cannot do that. Expect the Ethereum AUM to go up and expect the new narrative to be, hey, look, you get a dividend yield for speculating on Ethereum. And I expect BlackRock to get approval for this by the end of October as well. This is actually massive news that nobody's really talking about.
Got a few viewer requests here. I'm going to run through those real quick. So let me take the screen back. Litecoin's in front of us. One thing I can say here on the Litecoin is you can see we've had a pretty big sideways down here for a few years. You can see recently we've got this pretty big divergence. We've had volume continuing lower since the April lows, while Litecoin continues to put in higher highs and higher lows. So that's a pretty good setup. And we almost got oversold there on Friday down there at 101. So nice rally off that 39 level. Actually, that was what about technometer caught that day at 38 or so, 38.63. So again, a little bit of pullback here. Volume is still not coming in, so if volume would come in on Litecoin, that thing would skate through those 145, 150 highs, I would say extremely quick. Then let's go to Hex. Hex has got same type of thing, a nice accumulation range. Let me change my volume here so it'll come in. Got to change the settings to standard if anybody's using the software indicators. Changing that to standard will bring in the volume. Is supposed to bring in the volume. You know, crypto is not one of my exchange choices, so we're not going to talk about the volume on that one, because I don't want to have to change that live. But I mean, that looks obviously like a jump and a back up to the creek. So not showing much strength here the last 3 or 4 days. But I'd say if that one gets back above that 40, 41 cents, that might ignite Hex.
That would be a pretty good timing for Hex as well. Like you said, that's the backup to the creek there. But also, we do know that Pulse Chain PLS, the main gas token, is at a level where it needs to break above. So if PLS can break out above, you got Hex looking here to bounce here. That would be pretty good timing. We also know that BankX was a big holder of Hex. They've been selling millions of it for the past couple of years. They have sold the last of their bag. Their last 15,000 of eHex has just been sold over the weekend. So they're completely out of Hex. So one of the big whale sellers of Hex has 0 tokens left.
Let me go over a few more requests here. We got some requests coming in. So CMG, Chipotle Mexican Grill, had some bad news on the way down. I mean, we're trying to dig out of the hole. You can see interesting volume is still bucking at the highs. That's an interesting setup. I mean, that one really going through no accumulation yet. No real strong selling climax. You got earnings coming up. Earnings are the 29th. So for myself, I probably have to let earnings get out of the way before I would trust that one. Gorilla Technology Group. I think we talked about this one the other day, Yannick. Let's do an update on it because talked about the downtrend line being taken out, support coming in. You've got the divergence between price and volume, which you know we're always looking for. New lows in the volume while price made a higher low. It's not a major divergence, just a little bit of one. But we did have kind of a sign of strength there, last point of support. The 19 level is kind of maybe preliminary support. So today it is turning up right where it should. So that one I'd be on, and I'd stay on it if it shows any strength from here. Doji. Same type of thing here. I had an Elliott wave count that maybe it has bottomed. You can see as the OP loads here, major divergence here as well. You can see all the way down, sell volumes coming in. It finally bottomed there Friday, September 26th, higher lows. And if the volume will turn up, that thing's going to get released to the upside and break that 30.306 level. Then it would definitely be ready to go. So that one could get interesting.
Yeah, Doge looks really interesting because you are getting the lower low or the higher lows there, and there's rumors of a Doge ETF maybe getting approval. And we have seen that Floki, little brother to Doge, did get a Doge or a Floki ETP approval in Europe and got a Robinhood listing. So, you know, does dog season coming back? I sure hope so. Doge doing well will help one of our stock picks. I'm not going to release that information here. If you want that information, go to patreon.com/learncrypto. And then also Doge helps Floki, Floki helps Doge. And if Floki is getting ETPs in Europe, why can't Doge get an American ETF?
Floki's got the same divergence between price and volume. And then, as you can see, did lead to a rally here in the last week after an oversold technometer. Now, we are overbought on the technometer. Be a good time to have a little bit of a pullback with Bitcoin and Ethereum, etc. So if we get that, some of these could set up well for a nice little pullback buy.
Michael says, are we going back to 100K on the Bitcoin short term? I don't know if you want to go over the Bitcoin chart again for those who got in here late and kind of give your theory on Bitcoin. Everybody wants to know what Bitcoin is doing as it drives the entire market.
I'll go back to that for a minute, but let me finish up one more viewer request. Cameron, PLTR, Palantir. You can see here, really, I've got a couple oversold readings on a technometer that did turn it higher. The purple arrows are a momentum scan that I have. Gave a buy down to 93 and then a sell. Currently, it is long from September 12th and staying long. Probably a break below that 171 low probably would turn the scan bearish. But for now, let's see if it can continue higher. But as you know, that one's had a heck of a run. So not much else for me to add short term. Price and volume kind of moving together. Technometer neutral, so not much else to add. And then let's go quickly back to the Bitcoin, as Nick said. Now,
Ali E has a little dog emoji in the chat. Love it. Dog season always gets the vibes better in the trenches. And when the vibes are good, morale is good, and green candles follow shortly after.
What was it? Big House showed me, I don't think he's in there. Yeah, there he is, Fartcoin. On Big House, he showed me an update from Elliott Wave, and I'm going to kind of show that here.
And then while you're doing that, Cameron Work says LTC is due for a massive run. Well, the past couple cycles, when LTC does the massive run, that is Litecoin, that is the end of the cycle. So, I know you probably hold Litecoin, you don't want me to say it. I want the LTC run to hold off as long as it can. I don't even want it to run in this 2025. I don't want it to run in Q1 2026. I want it to run in Q4 of 2026. That way we can make a lot of money for a lot longer here in the crypto markets.
There's the Elliott Wave triangle that I think they're going with at the moment. You can see that with the white lines I got up there, A, B, C, D, E. And again, that we did have the divergence in the price and volume. So this count, I don't like the B wave count. I don't really like the E wave count. But if you get back, step back 10 feet, doesn't look too bad. So, and as you know, we did have that oversold reading, just missed down there at the 108. I was wanting a new low. Since we didn't get it, maybe that is the E wave of the triangle, because it wouldn't go to a new low. And then we've had a nice smart rally. So again, first leg up's probably ending, some type of ABC pullback, back to maybe that 119.5 level. If the technometer come down once again, then I'd be forced to do some buying and go with this Elliott wave count.
And that would lead you to probably something like, what, 150,000 for the next 5 waves up?
Yeah, that'd be, 150 would be in the cards at some point.
Yeah, and I definitely need to do a short form video. I went through the historical data for Q4s in the history of Bitcoin and bullish Q4s. And if you take kind of the lower end conservative of the Q4s, that means we could have 170,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. And if you take the most aggressive of the Q4s, that's how Michael's Sailor is coming up with 350,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. And I've been saying 244,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025 for a very, very long time now. And if you take the median of those two, where does it get you? It gets you right around the 244K Bitcoin mark. And if history repeated itself, that means Ethereum would be at $22,024. Now, maybe that isn't by the end of this year because the bull market is not going to be the same. We're in a 5-year business cycle now, and maybe the top for crypto, Bitcoin, and Ethereum isn't until 2026. Nonetheless, I think we're keeping our mindset on that, hey, higher prices are coming here at some point. We got to find entries, we got to find trades, and we got to see the opportunities and take advantage of.
In front of us, BBAI. I mean, once again, a triangle formation. Pork Blaster looks like it's trying to come out of that with today's nice little rally. So I would think, Yannick, that one probably getting ready to break out and make a smart move to the upside. So
I think, we've been talking about Ethereum, and I think we should take a look at the top 2 largest Ethereum strategic reserves. I did call that Ethereum strategic reserve narrative would drive Ethereum price, which it has. And we also bought the exact low on BMNR and SBT after their big first euphoria pumps. We bought the dip on those, and those things look like they're just kind of consolidating for the next move higher if Ethereum wants to reset and break above that 5,000 at some point.
Got Fart Coin up here, and you can see not a strong divergence that I like, but definitely got one. And you can see once again, Fart Coin had the oversold technometer down there at the lows, which is right at those levels. So.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a wedding on Friday night, and the next day I had some bad gas. So maybe that was the bullish indicator to buy some Fart Coin. I mean, Fart Coin's up since then. Pull up, I want to see your indicators or your perspective on SBET and Bitminer. We got in at the lows on those. To me, it looks like they're consolidating. They're going to follow Ethereum if and when it breaks. But I'm interested to see what the technometer and OP looks like on those.
Well, there we've got, and once again, that was a pretty big divergence. As you can see here, obviously there was a lot of strong buying, and then on the selling, strong hands picked it up. So you can see that definitely. And then down here you had their oversold readings. We did have another oversold reading right there at around the $14 to $16 bar. That was an excellent point to pick it up. And then really, if we kind of zoom in here now on just recent action, not much to add. I mean, there was no volume on this sell-off, even though there's some big red bars. They're held above the previous lows. So, yeah, I mean, that one, same type of thing. I mean, anything down around 1771, probably if it would break, break 1771, Bitcoin 119.5, that'd probably be one definitely to look at.
Yeah, Patreon members are up about 100% on that. Our buy zone, as you can see, was somewhere between $9 to $11, and you had about a week to do that buying before it ran up to 40. We didn't trade it there because I'm looking long term on this, but it's currently here around 19 bucks, up 98%, and it's going to kind of track Ethereum, and then at some point is going to have massive outperformance. Joe Lubin was talking that if they bought no more Ethereum, they're making $100 million a year in revenue just by staking that Ethereum. So that's what I like. And let's looks like you're looking at BMNR. This is going to be Thomas Lee, more of the institutional play. You got Kathy Wood from ARK involved with it. So they're onboarding the institutional players rather than the DeFi players.
Again, that was the setup. As you can see, same type of thing. On the pullback, volume went to new lows, price didn't. Technometer down there, it oversold there early September. So, and you were still beating it on the head there. So, and then what they mentioned that I was an Ethereum expert. I did mention on there, Ethereum I thought was headed higher. We could go down and stab 3850, and it did stab, what was it, 3800. I wasn't bullish down there enough on Bitcoin and didn't add to my Ethereum. But again, I think we'll do that on the next pullback. So same thing here on Bitmine. Pullback to, let's break the lows at 54.90 maybe. That'd be $7 down here. That'd be a 10% pullback. Volume here is hitting new highs, so that one still looks pretty good.
And patreon.com/learn crypto members got that one at about 31.69, currently up 101%. As you can see, our SBET buys and our Bitmine buys weren't on the same day, but they're up about the same amount of gains. And if you miss those, you need to join us. And then looks like Todd is looking for, hey, if Bitcoin has a small pullback, ETH has a small pullback, you maybe get a reset on these. And if you miss the really good entries, you're going to have a secondary entry, which I think is going to still lead you to massive gain potential as this bull market still unfolds.
There's Big House giving a little bit of alpha.
Big House, Republican House Lisa McClain bought 50K of BBAI early September. She knows something. Go to capitaltrades.com to see how your politicians are insider trading with your tax dollars. I added that last part. Hex Bulls in the house says 2017 vibes. That is right. Bringing back the Duo Live show, going hard multiple times a week. Hopefully we can do Duo Live shows at least 3 times a week. Todd going live maybe a couple times solo. And of course, we need to get back to doing Patreon-only live shows on random weekends when we are free. It's about to be wintertime, which means no more golf, no more outdoor activities. Stare at the charts, print green candles, and patreon.com/learncrypto members will get that exclusive content. We'll figure that out. It looks like, hey, our mics are working. Maybe we're resolving some issues. I want Todd to get a new CPU. but we need that first 10 banger to make that a reality.
Hex Bulls. Todd thinks I still do. And remember, we're hodling bags from like 1,500 Bitcoin. So, yeah, we have rallied, what, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 past my last sell. But, you know, as soon as you say something, we'll be right back down to that level. So I'm looking for low risk entries that I understand and I understand my risk. And when my technometer is overbought in a somewhat a trading range, I've got to lower some risk. So that's what I do. I follow my indicators. I don't trade from the seat of my pants. So until I get a good buy setup or something I understand, I will be on the sidelines.
There's no TA to be done on it, but shout out to CZ, the Chad, leading BNB to new all-time highs again yesterday. Over $1,200. Unbelievable. And the thing is, most people in our group, we haven't talked about it lately because I haven't really had a late trade on it, but it's like we have hodl bags and we've been staking or LPing BNB with Cake from the lows. And BNB has done nothing but go up. Cake is back close to $4. So you guys are still winning there. I know I don't talk about it every day because it's just over there farming, earning some yield. But shout out to Binance Chain. We're trying to find some new gems over on the chain. I did jump into Palu at 7 to 8 million and went to 15 million overnight. Now it's back to 5 million. We'll see what happens with that, but our members are aware of the details on Palu, and we'll see what happens over the next coming days. Jasper is asking you a question here. It says, hi, I see a clear distribution schematic on the 3-day, with Bitcoin having set a possible UT. What do you think, Todd?
Right. Let me go back because now we got somebody bearish in the chat. So, and definitely I'm worried about, yes, it definitely could be an upthrust here because as I said before, down at the bottom, the red highlights are overbought technometers. That called this rally top, that rally top, basically that rally top, and definitely that rally top at 123 and change. And basically, we got that topping signal really more right around 119,700, which was this day here. So, and you can see down here, volume wasn't following this rally, which made us suspect. You can see here, volume was hitting new lows on every new high, and volume is still not perking up very well. So definitely, yeah, that's why had sold the Bitcoin position, because it seems like, artificial buying up here with no strong underpinnings. So, and we're at highs where upthrust happened. So yeah, I would have to be on the lookout for that. That's why, again, risk is high here, that we continue higher. We got hodl bags if it explodes higher. And until I get a setup short term I like, I won't have a trading bag right here, right now.
Jasper says, bro, everyone's an admin right now. Yeah, that goes back to the Wrench Gang a long time ago. Now that we're back live, enjoy it while you can. Admins might have to earn their keep once again. We do have the top on here. This is a new YouTube thing. All the wrenches might disappear, and then we'll have to earn your moderation capabilities. We shall see, because there is the top fans, and we don't want people that we haven't talked to in quite a while, deleting people's live chat. So enjoy the wrench while you have it, and we'll see what happens here.
But most of these names are old names. That's why everyone's got a wrench, because they had a wrench. I've only added a few wrenches, and I don't think those people are here today. These are all old wrenches.
This is the second Duo live show back since the last bull market. Crazy to think, but we are back, boys.
All right, I'm going to bring up Aster real quick, because I do have that chart to look at. Let me grab the big screen. This is the 4-hour chart on Aster that I had put up in Patreon. You can see here, I was wanting really, again, we bought it a little bit early. I was really wanting a breakdown to 148 to be a buyer. We got, what was it, like $1.50, $1.51. And this rally still has been a little bit weaker. We didn't go to a new high yesterday. So looking at this chart right now, I mean, if we probably break back down below $1.75 when Bitcoin's pulling back, if it does, I would probably be interested again. I don't think we'll probably hit the lower channel now. I think we're probably still headed higher. You're welcome,
Yeah,
Jess.
the rally today wasn't all that organic. We were trying to get down to our buy zone. I think mine was looking for somewhere around $1.35. You were looking at $1.40, $1.45. We only went to $1.50. The rally, what caught it is the announcement that it was listed on Binance. Yes, a Binance spot listing along with some other centralized exchanges. Listed Aster overnight. And that's why you saw the rally, and that's why you're saying it doesn't look all that strong. It's because it's more just a FOMO hype of people on Binance dumping into that. And we'll see what happens here moving soon. Obviously, if Ethereum and Bitcoin have a little bit of a pullback, I think the Fugazi of this Aster rally does give up some gains. Maybe we get our first entry. And if not, well, we got to look at other assets. There's thousands of them out there, and we got to look for other setups that we like. I will say, I shared on Twitter not long ago, all of the Binance listings for 2025 are in the red since they were listed. Part of that is due to market conditions. Altcoin season just hasn't happened. And part of that tells me that the retail isn't all that active, and it's just a lot of washing of money. So we're following Aster, we're following others. With the strength of Ethereum, BNB, and Solana, there is some opportunities with these altcoins, and we're hoping, alt season and bigger gain and opportunities are right around the corner.
Let me run a disclaimer for my regulators. Hold on one second.
There's a high degree of risk involved in trading stocks and cryptocurrencies. Our thoughts and ideas are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your personal advisor or do your own research. Past results are not indicative of future returns.
All right, I'm going to take the screen. I'm ready to talk about hype. Hype, you can see I showed an earlier triangle for the Patreon earlier. A couple times here, the technometer got oversold. Did pick the lows. We almost got oversold there October 1st. Really around the 46, 47 level. You can see new lows in the volume, price holding. So that one to me, maybe not higher from right here, but still looks like something. If you're long that, I would hold it for higher.
And Hype is the direct competitor of Aster. That's why when Aster started doing well and launched, you can see how Hyperliquid went down and to the right. Hyperliquid is kind of Solana's perpetual project versus Aster is BSC's perpetual players. Those two are directly competing with each other for volume and fees, and you can see kind of the inverse correlation on the charts as of now. As when one does well, the other one starts to bleed a little bit, and that is just because you don't have new users coming to the market. This is a lot of traders that have a certain amount of capital. I mean, we even have limited capital. That's why trading has slowed down, because we can be like the YouTubers and the Twitter guys that just every day buy this asset, it looks good, buy this, buy that dip, buy this dip. We understand that there's only realistically so much money in your portfolio. You can only be in so many projects and so many trades at any given time. And sometimes I think that hurts us because we can't be, picking the low on literally everything. But when we get a big Bitcoin bottom or a big Ethereum bottom, if there's a different altcoin we don't talk about, but you really like it and have conviction, that's probably a good opportunity for you to buy that as well.
I'm going to look at Moodang here just for a second. I don't really have much to add here, but let me throw that one up. If you want to look at PTGC, but let me do the mood.
See up if it can. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, volume hitting new lows, really coming into that low September 24th, where we did get, you can see we got the oversold reading. So I think that's probably a pretty big low there at 14 cents. I would want to key off that if I was long. So long here on a little bit of slight pullback maybe. At 16 would be a good buy, or even have it here. And I think I'd probably use that 14 stop because that's a new low in volume and an oversold technometer. So that is an important low. If that gives away, maybe there's some more downside.
And I got PTGC up here. Obviously, PTGC down big again off the recent rally that it had, with Pulse Chain being down. But once again, a new higher low. That this has been a consistent thing throughout the history of PTGC. If we go out to the daily, you can see how early we were on this. $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, all these buys. A couple sells in there. Right now, I think it's about an $80 million market cap, maybe a $75 million market cap. Obviously, you can see the LA waves. I thought we had an ABC correction completed, and we were working on 5 waves up, which would send you to new all-time highs. It looked really good, and then Pulse Chain wanted to shit the bed, and so has PTGC. Again, though, still holding higher lows, still producing passive income. And this is kind of my way to get exposure to Pulse Chain without having to own all of the blue chips. Essentially, if Pulse or PulseX or Hex or INC does well, Historically, PTGC and the Grace currency has outperformed them, not including the passive income, due to its deflationary token economics. It incentivizes holders and stakers, and it has massive liquidity bonding, liquidity pools with all of those blue chips. So I think right here, right now, if you look at the last time we had that low, what happened here? You had this big sell-off, a low, a higher low with the bullish divergence. What do you know? This massive sell-off, a low, a higher low. Once again, you would like to see green candles, both for PTGC and Pulse Chain, and this thing to attack previous all-time highs once again sooner rather than later.
As you can see below me, I've got the GLD up for precious metals. I thought that was a triangle there, and I really think we're doing some type of ending fifth wave. There's a lot of bullishness going on. I really think still I'm a fan of metals longer term still. Would love to see an ABC pullback to that 310 level. I mean, that's 15% down from here, so maybe we won't get that. But I'd like to see an ABC pullback. You can see technometer is extremely overbought at 54. We're back down neutral at 44. Any type of sell-off here is going to get an oversold technometer. So I can't jump on that till I get some type of pullback.
Yeah, all the way back in August, I kind of did the measure move of that same triangle that you're looking at there, and it really pointed me to a target of 3,900 to 4,000 as a major top for gold. So I can't chase it here. If anything, I would rather be a seller. We're right into that zone. I've had that long standing since August. We're at 39.62, and maybe you do get a euphoria whip to 4,200 or something, but I just think high risk up here at $3,900, $4,000, as that just seems like a measured move target that I've had for a long time.
I don't know why you have an echo, Frank. No one else is really saying that, so not sure. Jasper wants to know if we got an alt season coming. I'll leave that to you, Nick.
I mean, I've been saying alt season, you need Ethereum all-time highs. And what's crazy is a lot of people are complaining about this alt, that alt, this bag's down, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, you could have invested in Ethereum in 2021 at the highs, and you still are down on your money. Ethereum has not flipped Bitcoin in terms of really dominating the market cycle. Yes, as of late, it went from 1,500 to 46, but really, you need to see 5,000 and above for Ethereum new all-time high and for alt season to be underway. We are very close to that. Ethereum strategic reserves are trying to pump that. We just got the news of ETFs, Ethereum ETFs going to allow staking. That is massive to get all people onboarded, and we need to see some green candles to get retail in the market. So Ethereum needs to be above and close above, probably on the weekly, $5,000, and that's where we see true alt season. Right now, we're seeing some pockets. BNB's up, Solana's doing okay. We're trying to get in some meme coins, some utility plays, but there isn't full-blown alt season. That only comes when Ethereum is surging above all-time highs. And quite frankly, it's been 4 years, and you could still be down on Ethereum if you bought the high in 2021.
Well, if you're from St. Louis, there's been a wrong way crash on I-70. Kills 2 and major traffic backup, obviously. That's not good news for St. Louis.
Some of your bags might be red, but you're not. Yeah, some of your bags might be red, but you didn't get in a car crash. So you always got to look at life half full, and we're trying to stack some winners, trying to get on some gems here, and save you guys from some scams.
As always, still managing crypto portfolios through trading APIs. Still managing stock portfolios through Schwab. So if anybody interested in that, take some of the stress off. We're still here to do that. Probably run a commercial at the end of this thing for PCG, but otherwise, patreon.com/learncrypto. And also, we got a stock Discord at wyckoffsmi.com. So that is about all I got. I don't see any more questions. Looks like I'm not getting any calls for last-minute trades.
Yeah, Frank Media. What was the echo on? Was it on an individual screen? Are you hearing the echo now? I don't hear an echo on my end, but let us know if that's there. Let's say Jasper says, if yes, let's say Bitcoin tops up soon. Is there still a shot in alt season? Yeah, I don't. Again, historically, Bitcoin's not going to. Everybody says, oh, it's topping October. I mean, look at quantitative easing just started. I think this Q4 is euphoric no matter what. And I think Bitcoin goes much higher, Ethereum goes much higher. And I've been in the camp for a long time saying the Bitcoin halving cycle is going to break, and it's going to break for the long side. That's just because I think this market cycle has been delayed a bit due to quantitative tightening. We're finally getting to quantitative easing. You have Trump in office another 3 years, very pro-crypto, pro-innovation. You have countries buying Bitcoin up for strategic reserves, which means they're not selling it, which I think dampens downside risk. And, look, now you're on a 5-year business cycle instead of a 4. due to COVID. So historically, has the Bitcoin halving been because of the Bitcoin halving, or has it been because it's just tracking the normal 4-year halving cycle and it was just perfect timing to launch Bitcoin? Well, that's a debate and argument that will get settled this cycle. If we extend it in 2026, well, Bitcoin is just a leverage play on the normal business cycle, and it's just been one of the best performing assets ever known to man that's tracking, the monetary supply. So M2 right now is at the highest level ever. And what usually follows that? Well, you're seeing gold follow it. Next, we're going to see Bitcoin follow it.
They're saying you got an echo or maybe in a tunnel. So they say I'm good. You got a little bit of an issue. So we'll work on that with Nick, but hopefully it's not too bad. Must not be horrible. You just got something going on.
Nah, I just listened to it on YouTube. It definitely sounds like I'm a little echoey. So I don't know if that's the maybe two mics coming into the rendezvous feed or what.
Right.
Yeah, my sound quality definitely isn't great. Still understandable, but definitely isn't great. I think I sound way better in my head, and I just listen at YouTube. I'm like, oh man. Yeah.
Let's look at total 3 real quick for Big House. Let me bring that up. Actually, it's on the screen with us. So, I mean, there we are hitting a new high here yesterday and today in total market cap. I don't get much information from the volume indicator. I mean, it's lagging a hair behind, but still okay. So, not much to add, but definitely good for the crypto community.
Yep, that's primarily lit on the back of BNB new all-time highs, Ethereum close to new all-time highs. Bitcoin's up there. This is excluding Bitcoin and ETH, so I guess it's just, BNB, new players like Aster and Hyperliquid doing good. Solana's doing okay, and then you still, Pulse Chain's been lagging, but still brings in, billions, maybe probably, billions and billions to that list as well. Probably somewhere around 20 billion for Pulse Chain, for example.
All right, 3 o'clock. We've been on it for an hour. So we're going to wrap it up, I think. I'm going to run a commercial for PCG for crypto, private client group, and then end of the show. So I'd say we're out of here. Tomorrow, same type of thing, probably. Around 2 o'clock will be Nick and I, or if Nick's not around, it'll probably be me by myself. So that's what we're going to plan on.
Back on the grind, back finding the trade setups, get in the Patreon group if you want them in real time, or follow us on here if you just want to tune in to the live show. You want to wait and see what we can bring you before you want to dive on in. That makes sense, and we'll see you on the flip side.
All right, see you.
We'll see you all again. Sleep tight.